I totally had it wrong, and totally dissed you. And obviously you put in you have a great season, and so you apologize. I said the same thing to Shanahan at the Super Bowl. I was killing Shanahan in 15. Like we just signed Kyle Shanahan, and that was right when he lost his briefcase and had the game plan.
Yeah,
everybody was freaking out. Me and Carl. So yeah, you own it. Look, I think if you can get to some of these guys, I used to say to Carl, these guys don't give a crap, and Carl has always said on Dukes and Bell, no man, these guys hear everything.
Yeah,
and they do. So yeah, I mean, like with Grady, I always felt Grady was miscast in a 4-3 into a 3-4. I never thought Grady fit in this defense.
Yeah.
You better have a big dude next to him. And
Grady could really eat in.
I think Grady, last time I saw Grady, he was like, brr. I'm like, okay, Grady's not going to say hi to me now. But we love Grady. He's the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
But you can't sugarcoat it. You got to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
So for Trae Young, what we got to do?
Got to get him a star.
Who do you think we're going to get?
That's the problem, because all these guys, we don't need to go get some $55 million buster like Paul George was for the Sixers this year. I think it's not going to be names. I think it's not going to be sexy. I don't like the Hawks front office. I thought DeJounte was a disaster, but Dyson Daniels was great. Getting Karis LeVert in here was a nice piece. We got a good bench, but let's not let it go. Now we got a good bench. Let's keep
build on it.
We never built on the 2021 conference championship team.
No.
If Trae doesn't get tangled with the ref, we probably could have beat those Bucks. Who knows? I know we could have beat the Suns that year. So let's see Tony Ressler, and this is the catch-22. It's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
We never get into those aprons, and no one understands the salary cap. It's confusing as hell.
Yeah.
But we have got to spend some money. We got to maximize this, and it may be worker bees. Maybe you get a big center, because I think Okongwu is solid, but he needs help down low.
Definitely.
He's getting better and better. But you need to get another wing. I think we're okay at the backup point, but we've just got to be able to load some pieces in here, and maybe it's going to be just worker bees. Maybe it's not going to be sexy. But man, Jalen Johnson is the Scottie Pippen to his Jordan. But he's got to stay on the floor, man.
The health.
And Ressler at some point's got to spend some loot, because fans don't want to hear about it.
Nah, not anymore.
We got to spend some loot. This isn't about developing, Atlanta Centennial Yards. This ain't about real estate like the Braves. This is about winning.
Yeah,
let's put some money in.
Just about putting the winner on the court.
When we traded John Collins, we got a trade exception, and it was kept talking about.
They never used it.
So we wasted it.
I think because it comes and goes. You had a year to use it. So
we just traded John Collins for nothing.
Basically nothing. Just like when we let Al Horford go. Remember that? Al walked for nothing.
Yeah.
So you got to be aggressive.
Front office has always been a problem.
There's a period of time for the exemption to use it towards your cap. And John Collins should have traded they should have traded John Collins 3 years before. Bring DeAndre Ayton in. Maybe he won't be such a wuss over here. I don't know. Well, just do something. Change it up, because John Collins' ceiling was here.
Yeah.
What do you think? I like the
By the way, John Collins screwed me out of freaking 5 large, man. You know that story?
No, please share.
We got to get out of here.
Okay.
I bet the Hawks over under the year he got the suspension.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then he got
I needed 35 and a half wins. I placed $5,000 at Caesars, and I've told the story on the radio a million times. And the girl goes, ooh, I like this bet, because everyone who works in the casino is a degenerate gambler. And so they got to take it from but if it's a large number, they got to get the pit boss, or the boss comes in. He goes, 5 large on the Hawks on a prop bet. He goes, oh, I like that. I said to my wife, I go, see? Because I won like some big loot playing craps. I'm going to put it on the Hawks. So we're going to redo the bathroom. And then John Collins gets suspended 25 games because he wants to have shoulders like Dwight Howard.
Man, come on, John.
Never ever bet the over/under on the Hawks win total. Take it from Uncle Mike.
Collins.
If you learn nothing from this podcast, never bet on the Hawks. And
come on, John Collins.
and the mic drop.
And the mic drop.
Man, good times, man.
Look. I did one last question. Yeah. Give us a favorite sports play and a favorite Atlanta sports play, Atlanta sports moment. Break it down for it. Describe it. Something that just really just lit the fire that you just loved and will always stick with your memory.
There's so many. I mean, actually, if the Falcons is not a lot, But in the case of me, of all the Atlanta sports memories I've had, sitting in the end zone when Roddy White beats Richard Sherman in that playoff in the divisional round, and then basically gets right in Sherman's face, and he's talking shit, and it's the best because it was right there. Because everyone, Richard Sherman was the good guy. We know he's a good dude, but back then he's kind of the guy in the black hat. He's the bad guy talking that shit. But I love Roddy White, and to me, that's one of my favorite moments. To see that big, as we're going into the next round, and the Georgia Dome was electric. But if I had one, probably be Vic coming back from the injury in 2003.
Well, was that the game against the Panthers?
He plays Carolina.
Yeah, the night game.
And he hadn't played, and then Mike comes out of the tunnel with no helmet, and just sits there. And stands there, and the crowd, I still get goosebumps, and the crowd just goes friggin' ape. And then Mike comes out and he gets the win. He basically levitates for 5 yards, diving for the end zone.
I remember that.
And we beat the
Superman.
Panthers. Yeah,
I remember that game.
one. And there's one that's not sports related. That would be when Bone Crusher did the halftime show.
And he took his
and
shirt
sang
off.
the unedited, not family friendly version of "I Ain't Never Scared." And people on the sideline, like, it's like people were like, "Whoa, he's going there," and it was unbelievable, man. It was like, man, I always say, if you bring back Bone Crusher with Frisbee dogs, that'd be the greatest halftime show ever.
That's
Arthur Blank.
Frisbee dog.
Hey, look. Arthur Blank aged about 10 years doing that performance.
Right.
Bone took his shirt off. He was full-fledged. Let me tell you, last year we were at a game.
Right.
I forget which team we were playing. I want to say KC. Fan behind was just talking so much trash. F the Falcons this,
Right.
Falcons that, whichever game it was. Bone comes out and perform. They have him perform. Bone Crusher perform. He goes nuts. Oh my God, it's Bone Crusher. He just turned into like a little schoolgirl right there behind. And I'm just laughing like, man, that is too funny.
You actually, I'm giving you like 6, but I mean, I'll still go with Roddy just because that was so cool. But I might, maybe Mike in the tunnel might be one, and also when Acuna hit the grand slam against the Dodgers. Even we didn't win that series, but you knew we were coming up. The Braves were on their way up.
Yeah.
That was tight.
Man, that's awesome.
I like the fact that you're from New York and you're a big Atlanta.
Yeah, man. Look,
But you've been here
I've
longer
been
than
here
your doctor.
This is 27 years from here, man. This is
Yeah.
home.
I
It's
like
not like
that.
going back home. This is home.
Well, I want to say, man, that it's an honor.
Hey, no, it's
for you
great
being on here.
Appreciate you coming on.
And much respect.
For the
Mike
record, they
Bill,
said
we
this was going to be
appreciate
10 minutes. We did 45.
This guy said it was going to be 10 minutes.
I told him.
That's how we do.
Ask Carl. You can't control me for
Hey.
10 minutes. At least I know I talk too much.
Let me say this for everybody. Mike Bell's a liar. So if you ever don't believe him, he knew what's up.
He definitely said, he just said it by mistake. He said 10 minutes. You said it. You said
I told him, I said, there's no way we're going to be 10
You
minutes.
said it. You just didn't realize you said it.
I said 110.
No. You said we're gonna be done at 12:10.
Oh.
And it was like 12 o'clock. That's why we were both like
I looked at it like
10 minutes.
I go, she. I go, have you ever heard have you ever heard the radio program before, sir?
All right,
Have
my
you never
bad.
heard my show?
bad,
You never
bad.
seen
I'm a
my
liar.
work
I'm a
before?
liar. I'm a liar. My
Steak will
bad.
tell you he's coming up on your next podcast. My motto is more of me, more of me.
So I know. Tell me about your start. And
Yeah.
did we talk about this on air?
No,
we
we
talked
talked
about it before.
Talk about how you got in and Steak and how that was a part.
No, man, I got kicked out of FSU. I was a bartender in New York, and I was at a turntable at the end of the bar. This little guy came in the bar. He goes, "Wow, you ever do any radio?" I go, "Who are you?" He goes, "My name's Eddie Simon." His brother was Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon.